Welcome back to our channel. In this second installment of our climate change series, we embark on a compelling exploration of the far-reaching impacts of this pressing global issue. As we delve deeper into the realm of climate change, we uncover a world grappling with unprecedented challenges and disruptions. From the melting polar ice to the intensifying droughts and forest fires, the consequences of climate change reverberate across the globe, leaving no ecosystem untouched. In this video, we will traverse the vast expanse of our planet, witnessing first-hand consequences of rising sea levels, the loss of biodiversity, and the devastating effects on fragile ecosystems. Brace yourself for an eye-opening journey as we shed light on the global effects of climate change and the urgent need for collective action. Let's dive in. Climate change is one of the most pressing problems facing the world today. It is a complex issue that has many different effects on our environment and ecosystems. While there are many ways to tackle climate change, one way is to educate yourself about its causes as well as its global effect. Melting polar ice. Melting polar ice caps are one of the most visible impacts of climate change. The melting of this polar ice cap is due to rising temperatures which have been steadily climbing over the past century. As a result, sea levels have risen at an alarming rate. In fact, they're expected to continue rising throughout this century and beyond. The melting polar ice caps have caused flooding in coastal areas around the world, and not just during storms like Hurricane Sandy or Typhoon Haiyan, which hit China. Even if you aren't living near an ocean or other body of water that's prone to flooding when there's high tide or storm surge, it's worth noting that even small increases in sea level can cause problems for buildings located close enough to be affected by erosion along shorelines, especially if those buildings are built on landfill instead of solid rock foundations, as many modern ones are. Rising sea levels. Rising sea levels are the result of two main factors: melting polar ice and thermal expansion. As temperatures rise, so does water's ability to expand. Both of these processes are driving global sea level rise faster than scientists predicted just a few years ago. In fact, according to recent estimates by the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, by 2100, if no action is taken, we could see oceans rise as much as 1 meter, 3 feet, above current levels, and even more if we continue emitting greenhouse gases at current rates throughout this century. The impact of rising seas will be felt most acutely along low-lying coastlines where many cities and towns exist today. However, there will also be impacts on ecosystems within those areas, such as coral reefs or mangrove. Droughts. Droughts are periods of low rainfall. They can be caused by climate change, which can lead to drought and other extreme weather events, such as floods and hurricanes. Droughts can have many negative effects on agriculture and livestock, including food shortages for both humans and animals. These conditions also lead to water shortages that may cause forest fires if there is no rainwater available for plants or trees to drink from, for example, California. Forest fires are caused by lightning or human activity and can be prevented by clearing away dead trees and brush, building fire breaks, and controlling the spread of fires with firefighters. When a forest burns, it destroys all plant life in its path, including trees as well as smaller plants like grasses, flowers, and shrubs. The result is bare soil that's vulnerable to erosion, the movement of sand, soil, or mud across land, because there aren't any roots holding it together anymore. In addition to causing erosion problems for humans living near forests that were burned recently by wildfires, this destruction makes it harder for animals who live there too. They have less food available since some plants won't grow back after being burned. They may also be forced out of their homes due to increased temperatures caused by global warming. Another impact discussed later: biodiversity loss. Biodiversity loss is a global issue that affects all ecosystems on Earth. Climate change can be considered the primary driver of biodiversity loss, as it causes shifts in species distribution and population size, as well as changes in habitat conditions. These effects are most evident when considering the large-scale extinctions that have occurred throughout history due to natural climate change events such as ice ages or supervolcanic eruptions. But they are also happening today at unprecedented rates due to human activities like deforestation and pollution. Scientists estimate that over 1 million species may become extinct by 2050 if current trends continue. In fact, since 1500 Orc or Anno Domini, we've lost about 50% of our planet's total biodiversity. 2. This means there are fewer types of animals living on Earth today than there were 500 years ago. Climate change affects all of us, no matter where we live. Climate change is a global issue, and it affects us all. It's not just about the polar bears or coral reefs. Climate change will have profound effects on your life and how you live it. Whether you live in New York City or Nairobi, Kenya, we all have a stake in what happens with climate change, and we all have the responsibility to do our part. The good news is that there are things each of us can do right now to help mitigate its effects. Driving less often instead of taking public transportation. Eating less meat. Meat at production produces high amounts of greenhouse gases. Putting solar panels on your roof. Buying an electric car instead of gasoline-powered ones. The effects of climate change are already being felt around the world, and they will only continue to get worse if we do not take action now. The good news is that there are ways for us all to help slow down global warming by using less energy at home, eating more vegetables and less meat, recycling our waste materials, driving less cars, using public transport instead of driving alone in personal vehicles, turning off lights when not needed, etc. As we conclude this eye-opening journey into the impacts of climate change, it becomes clear that our world is at a critical crossroads. The evidence of global effects and ecosystem disruption is undeniable, serving as a stark reminder of the urgent need for action. Together, we have witnessed the alarming consequences of melting ice, rising sea levels, and the heartbreaking loss of biodiversity. Yet this knowledge is not meant to discourage us, but to ignite a spark of collective determination. Now, more than ever, we must rally together to safeguard our planet and its delicate ecosystems. Let's channel our awareness into action by advocating for sustainable practices, supporting conservation efforts, and demanding climate action from our leaders. Each one of us plays a vital role in building a resilient and sustainable future for generations to come. If you found this video impactful, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel to stay connected with our ongoing exploration of environmental issues. Thank you for being part of this crucial journey, and remember, the time for climate action is now. Let's be the change we wish to see in the world.